Hello! Welcome back! If you are new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. So today is the day after Thanksgiving, and yesterday I ran a 5K, which it was a turkey trot, ran it with my new friend, and it was honestly so much fun, but y'all, I am so sore. Like, it hurts to sit in this chair right now. My knees are sore, my thighs are sore, my shins are sore, my ankles are sore. I've never had sore ankles before. I am a lot of things. I am a very active girl, and running has just never been enticing to me. But I actually enjoyed it yesterday, and I ran the entire 3.2 miles, which I don't think I've ever run a continuous 3.2 miles in my entire life, and I didn't train for this at all. So, one, felt good to be able to do that. Two, I think I'm arguably in the best shape of my life. So, check and check. And then I ate a ton of food, and honestly, it was a great Thanksgiving. My first Thanksgiving away from my family, and I really enjoyed it. I spent it with all of my new friends, and it was a great night. If you follow me on Instagram, then earlier this week, late last week, I posted a post with like words that had caught my eye. And one of the pictures in that post was actually a poem that I read in a book, and it really caught me. I did a double take. I reread it like 15 times. I was like, damn, this poem puts my thoughts and experience into words in a way that I really like. I think it's very relatable and enjoyable, and yeah, I want to share it with y'all, and I wanted to make a little video because it really did hit home with me, and if it hits home with me, then I know that it will hit home with someone else. So today I want to talk about my experience with depression and what depression looked like and felt like for me. Mental health can come in so many different shapes, sizes, forms, experiences. I am not a mental health expert. I am not pretending to be. I am simply sharing my experience with you. And if you relate to it at all, then I feel you. And if you don't, or if you had a different experience, then that's okay too. Like, this is not a one size fits all. This poem really speaks to my experience with depression. And yeah, I hope that maybe it will resonate with some of y'all as well. So it is in a poetry book called A Home for Lonely Souls by Michael Tavon. And it is on page 24. So the poem reads, "My depression was a weed-smoking fiend, a party animal, a sex machine. Third shift, Netflix binger, sleep avoidant, a rebel to responsibilities, a habitual job quitter. My depression was fun, under the influence of my own delusion, living a reality diluted by lies. I didn't realize my joy was a facade. Depression isn't always deep sleep, unkept rooms, and grief eating. Depression loves to party too." I think it's the whole poem, yes, but I think really this last section, depression isn't always deep sleep, unkept rooms, and grief eating. Depression loves to party too. That, when I read Depression Loves to Party Too, I literally started crying when I first read this, because I struggled so much with my mental health in my 20s, and I struggled in ways that I don't think was always easily understandable or recognizable to others, including myself. There was so much of my early 20s that I didn't realize how bad of a space I was in until I was 15 feet deep in it and making horrible decisions and hurting other people and things like that. And I think it's because there is this preconceived notion that in order for you to call yourself depressed, you have to be stuck in bed, not wanting to get up, not wanting to go to work, not have motivation to do anything. I think there is a very narrow view of what depression looks like. And I liked this poem, and it spoke to me so much because it really highlights the other side of depression. I've heard it be called high functioning depression before, whatever you want to call it. I was able to keep a job. I had friends. I had a social life. I had things going on in my life. I had my family I was able to get out of bed. I was able to function, but I was in internally the worst headspace I had ever been in my life. And that really came out when it came to the way that I drank and the way that I partied. It was 100%, and it wasn't even conscious to me at the time that it was 100% me escaping from the reality of my own life. That's how I was able to get off of the merry-go-round. I think that sometimes there have been times in my life where I have been stuck in bed. There have been times in my life where I have not wanted to get up, where I truly have had no motivation to do anything. I've experienced that on a smaller scale before, but my depression most definitely showed itself in the way that I kept up with myself, the way that I showed love to myself, the way that I partied, the way that I drank. That is how my depression was externally visible. And I will never forget the time that I had a friend. This was last year, and you've watched my videos at all, then you will have heard me talk about just how bad of a headspace I was in last year around about this time. Just the latter half of 2022 was really, really bad for me. And I remember I had a friend text me, and she's one of the only friends that I had at the time that openly struggled with their mental health as well. So I think that's why it also hit home with me so much that she's the one that texted me. But I remember her texting me, and all she said was, "Hey, are you okay?" And I had not cried that hard in a really long time. I've been crying all the time, but like that text message hit me like a dagger, because it was like, no, I'm not. And thank you so much for recognizing. I remember at one point being like, I felt like I was standing in a glass box in Times Square, just like banging on the windows. Like, why does no one recognize how bad I feel right now? How does no one recognize the headspace that I am in? Why is no one trying to help me? Why am I struggling in solitude right now? I don't know why no one is figuring out just how badly I need help. I remember feeling like that. And when she asked me, I was just like, it felt like a weight had been taken off my shoulders, because all I wanted was I just wanted help. I wanted someone to recognize. I wanted someone to give me a way forward, a push in a direction, a this, a that, and the other. I ended up having to be that person for myself, but it meant a lot to me to receive that text message, because I don't know that people close to me truly understood just how bad it was. And I wasn't telling people either. I wasn't an open book about it. I think that people knew that I was acting out of character in certain ways. I think that people knew that I was hurting people, because hurt people. But I don't know that my form of depression and how it came out was recognizable to others. And that's why I want to talk about it right now, because just because I was out every weekend and I had a great group of friends and I seemingly seemed to be having fun, when I went home after those nights, or when I woke up the next morning, or when I was alone before I was doing those social things, scary head place to be in. I had never felt that low before. I had never felt that down before. And my life felt so mundane. I was so unhappy in almost every aspect of my life. Romantically, job-wise, financially, just overall a feeling of extreme stuck is really how I felt. And I think that the way that I partied and the way that I socially overextended myself was my attempt to feel better for 2.5 seconds, to escape the way that I felt 90% of the time and try to feel better for that short-lived 10% of time that without fail always made me feel worse. Depression isn't always deep sleep, unkept rooms, and grief eating. Depression loves to party too. And I also had a conversation the other day with a group about someone that we know that is living a lifestyle that no one really understands. It's a widely felt feeling about this person. And I felt compelled to speak up because it is so obvious when someone is living a lifestyle like that they are unhappy. And it was one of those things where it just dawned on me how misunderstood the connection between mental health and partying can be, how misunderstood that is. I truly feel that people that take it to an extreme and don't know how to have limits and don't know how to party responsibly and don't know how to drink responsibly or do drugs responsibly or live a social life responsibly, I do think that there is, for most people in that scenario, a rhyme and a reason for that, and maybe reach out to them and ask them if they're okay, if they need to talk, if they, spark up a conversation that may lead to a deeper conversation. I think that there isn't a need to go that hard and escape that often without a reason. And so I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because it kind of shocked me, just the ways that this came to me for a reason. This poem came to me for a reason. It brought about the reaction that it did for a reason. Some of the conversations I've been having in my life that have really pertained to this have happened for a reason. I just want to bring a little bit of awareness to that depression and mental health in general can express itself in many different ways and doesn't always look like the textbook symptoms that we think it does. And I just encourage people to reach out to those that they may have an inkling about or may have a feeling about, or just spark up a conversation with people that leads to deeper conversations. I think that's why I'm so passionate about these types of talks and these types of conversations, because we are all so alike. We experience so many of the same things. They may show in different ways, but to the core, so much of the human experience is so similar to each other that if we just had more conversations like this and more conversations that I like to have with my friends, I think it could really open up the door to kind of taking the taboo away from some of this and kind of understanding that so many people go through things like this and so many people experience such similar things, and you're never as alone as you think you are. And if you've experienced anything like what I've been talking about, or you feel like you're in the throes of what I've been talking about, I'm here to tell you that there is 100% a way out. And I am not here to tell you how to change your life or to tell you do this or do that or follow these steps and your life's gonna get better. All I can do is share my experience and share my thought processes and streams of consciousness around these types of topics and just let you see my path forward and, hope that it can inspire or spark interest or just give hope. So that's really what I'm here to do, and I hope that this resonated with someone out there today. I know that this poem and this topic truly, truly resonates with me. And happy holidays, and I will see you back next week. Thank you guys so much.